Hey guys, Animation Level 18 here. Welcome to part 1 of the rest of my DVD collection. I've got to start off with, I just want to remind you guys that yesterday I had uploaded my TV and DVD collection. Today I uploaded the last part of it. So if you want to check back on that and watch those first and then watch this, that is perfectly okay, because that's how I do it with everyone else's. So first we've got Walt and El Grupo, The Untold Adventures. This is a documentary about when Walt took his animators to South America to do some research for their upcoming film at the time, The Three Caballeros. He called the group El Grupo because he did that as like a joke, because they were going to South America. Really cool documentary. If you like Disney documentaries, definitely check this one out. This is definitely one that you guys should all take a look at. This is really cool. I bought that at Disney Parks, but I found out that you don't have to. I was at Disneyland, I think in March I got that. You don't really have to get that there, like I thought you did. You have to go to they sell it at Best Buy and places like that. So sometimes it's hard to find the regular places though. For second, we've got Charlotte's Web 2, Wilbur's Great Adventure. I've heard this is pretty shitty, but I have the original, the one that everybody should own, the one that's just a classic, a timeless classic. This I've heard is shitty, but I had the first one, so what the hell. So that's Charlotte's Web 2. Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. This is one of the weaker Nickelodeon movies that they ever put out. This is one of the weaker ones they've done. I really don't know how they made a TV show off of this by stretching it, or they had a contract like most of them where that happens, where they released the movie first and then they do the show. Like a lot of the DreamWorks shit they've been putting on TV now, like Madagascar, Penguins of Madagascar, and some shitty Kung Fu Panda cartoon. They were doing the same thing with that too. And they also did a movie, Barnyard, the original Party Animals, before they had done the Barnyard TV show. I don't know if it was because they did well or what, but God save me. So that's Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius. As you notice, as you guys might have noticed if you watched any of the videos yesterday that I had put up, I don't have any Jimmy Neutron episodes from the TV show. I don't have any of those DVDs. I only have the movie because, to me, because I don't believe it got any better at all. It might have gotten weaker. I don't know how it could, but it did. This is next we've got Extreme Revenge Double Feature. To this set features I Spit on Your Grave, aka Day of the Woman, then the original 1978 director's cut, and the second disc, I Spit on Your Grave, the unrated remake cut, the unrated cut of the remake, which I think this is the only way you can get I Spit on Your Grave, the remake. They've only released this cut right here, the unrated cut. So if anybody has seen the remake, you've probably been watching the unrated cut, because that's all they've been released. That's all they've released. I got Silent Deadly Night 3-disc set. This is just the sequels, parts 3 through 5. Cars 2. As you guys might have noticed, I have realized I have a very eclectic taste. So you might see some exploitation, you'll probably see some horror, you'll probably see some action in later parts. I have a lot of different kinds of shit. So that's Cars 2. Now, you might be wondering, shit, why do you have this? Because everyone hates it so much. Well, because I had the first one. I'm a completist somewhat. And I wasn't able to see this when it came out in the theaters last year because it came out the day of my graduation party. That I had 2 weeks after I graduated from high school. So I wasn't able to actually go to the theater and watch it that weekend. That summer, I was doing a lot. I was very busy that summer, so it was a blur. My whole summer was. So that's mostly why I got this. So that's Cars 2. The Cinema Snob movie. If you guys don't watch That Guy with the Glasses, you're probably not gonna know what this is. This is the DVD of the movie that they did based on this character, starring Brad Jones. Basically, it's just a made up story with the character. They basically just made a movie with the character in it. It has nothing to do with any of the Cinema Snob episodes at all. It's just basically just a movie they did. It's an independent film, and you can only buy it from the website. From the website that they did. It's called Walkway Films, I think. I'm not sure. I think that's what it's called. You can only buy it from there. It's pretty cool, but I suggest that you guys check out the Cinema Snob, at least one of the Cinema Snob videos of his show before this is based on, before you go out and before you order this, because it really had nothing to do with it, but that you might get more familiar with it then. You don't need to, I'm just suggesting it. So that's the Cinema Snob movie. Pocahontas for 10th anniversary edition, two disc set. I don't have, in case you're wondering, I don't have the Blu-ray that came out in August. I don't have that because I just, I'll get it, but I'm not in a rush to get it. That's Pocahontas. 9. I just have it on my shelf. I'm not gonna watch this piece of shit. I'm just not. If anyone can give me a review on this and tell me how good it is, that's fine. I might give it a shot then, but at least for now, it's not on my radar to watch. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. Good Scooby movie. Space Jam. Now, what I think they should have done with Space Jam, just so that it went over better, I think one of the reasons why it didn't, why a lot of people shit on it now, is because they think they should have just animated. This is my opinion, though. I think they should have just animated the whole thing. I mean, just leave Wayne Knight and Michael Jordan and just animate them. Just use their voices. You don't need to see them. You just could have used their voices, and I think all of your problems with this movie would have been solved. I mean, just think of it that way. I mean, I know you're trying to make it so that to cash in. You're basically making this just to cash in to kill two birds with one stone, because at the time they made this, which was, when did they make this? Oh, 1996. So when they made it, the reason why they made it, they just wanted to kill two birds with one stone. At the time, Michael Jordan was on the rise, and so he was basically in his heyday back when this was made, and they just wanted to make a movie with him in it, but they didn't. I don't think they needed to do. I don't think they really needed to do Looney Tunes. I think it was kind of a marketing play. This was kind of like I think it's probably better, but at least Kevin Durant's in the movie Thunderstruck when he's not about the Looney Tunes. That's the one problem with this movie, I think, of the Looney Tunes. The scenes with the Looney Tunes. That's the major problem with it. I mean, if they just... I mean, it wouldn't have been so bad if they just animated it, the whole thing. I mean, and that they didn't have to do green screen the whole entire... making green screen the whole entire time. That's why this kind of... That's why some of this kind of... the movie kind of sucks. But, I do like it. It's just nostalgia. I'm not gonna say it's like the greatest movie in the world, which it's not. That's Space Jam. Next is The Lion King. This is just the one disc DVD with just doesn't say it just. Excuse me. It doesn't say if it has a commentary or not, which I'm hoping it does, because it'd be interesting to see what they have to say on it now, because it was a very popular film, so I'd be interested to see. I mean, it still is. It was popular when it came out. It made bucket loads of money, but it just seems like that they don't do a whole lot of. Disney just needs to do more commentaries. I mean, you can do it, Disney. I mean, this movie came out in 1994, so it's not old enough for the animators and anyone on the crew who made this movie to be dead. So it's kind of hard to believe that. I mean, I know that I think there might be somebody dead who was involved with this. I don't remember who it is. But I think somebody might have died, if I remember correctly. Like when they were gonna, right when they released it, or a few years after they released it. So that's The Lion King. This is the two movie. This is the Lion King 2 movie. No shit. Fox and the Hound 2 movie collection. With the Fox and the Hound and the Fox and the Hound 2. I only really got it for Fox and the Hound, but you know, I think it might be. I heard it might be cheaper if you buy it this way, because you're basically just paying for Fox and the Hound. You know, I think Fox and the Hound is the only thing worth it I've heard on this at all. It's just. Fox and the Hound I had on VHS when I was a kid, and I loved it. Loved the hell out of it. And I watched it all. I watched the tape to shreds. So that's Fox and the Hound. Next is Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. This is an okay Scooby movie, not the best. It's okay. Parts of it are okay, parts of it aren't. Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. A very underrated Scooby movie. Very underrated Scooby-Doo film. Very underrated. You don't hear a lot of people talk about this one. I don't know if it's because it's old or what it is, but you don't hear a lot of people talk about it. I've never been able to figure out why. I mean, because it is good. I mean, that's the thing. It's just so good. I've never been able to figure out why people don't talk about it. It just amazes me how this one gets overlooked all the time. Because that's one of the Scooby-Doo movies I remember watching at home more when I was little, more than the rest of them. Well, actually, because I think that might have been the first Scooby movie I ever bought. I didn't buy it. My mom bought it for my birthday. gave it to me for my birthday, but I think it might be the only one. But I actually remember watching the whole entire thing of it at that time. I think so. The Wild Thornberry movie, another very underrated movie. Probably one of the better Nickelodeon movies they did on their own material. The thing about this that I don't think people liked about it was the subject matter. I think a lot of people turned a lot of people off, and that's why it didn't make a lot of money. But, you know, I can handle it because, like, I feel like with this movie, they had to make it to get people in the theater. So it's not like, I think, and they had to give this a story, you know, and they did a very good job of having the story so it would last long enough so they can make a movie out of this. Because one of the problems with some of these TV shows, they make a movie them and they suck because they're not able to make the story intriguing enough to last the whole entire hour and a half or however long the movie is. That's one of the problems with some of those movies. So that's Wild Thornberry movie. Next, The Road to El Dorado. Another piece of nostalgia for me. I only paid $5 for this once, so I mean, if I don't watch it, I'm not losing money, basically, because only $5 at Big Lots in it. The reason why I picked it up was because it's one of the only DreamWorks movies I really remember liking as a kid. I don't remember liking Shrek a lot. I don't remember liking, I don't want to call it. I don't remember liking I don't like Madagascar. That's a shitty franchise. I saw just one and I think 3. I think, yeah. Took some kids to see it at work. It was very bad. Like, so bad it was almost unwatchable bad. So next, I've got Silent Night, Deadly Night, parts 1 and 2. I showed the sequels earlier in the video, and I've been waiting to get my hands on this for a while now because they had an early DVD of this. They released this before. Anchor Bay did it before, and it's been out of print forever. And the people said the print was so bad. So I never really tried to look for it until after I saw 46th Street Forever's video where he said how bad the print was. I didn't want to go out and buy it. I stopped looking for it. So I hope that this is a good print because I've been waiting a long time to see that. Just to see what it is. Funeral Home. I mean, $5. Tried a few days ago. I'm not really in a rush to see it. Dennis Quaid in The Rookie. Really good. It's one of the more underrated baseball films. I don't hear people talk about this very much. I mean, to be honest, ever since it's left the theater, kind of died. I don't even know if it made very much money. This was actually directed by the same guy, John Lee Hancock, who directed The Blind Side with Sandra Bullock and Tim McGraw. I like this. I like the movie. I like both of those films, but in different ways. I mean, the story in The Blind Side is basically the same thing. But just with a different. It's basically the same kind of movie, different premise and a different sport. Basically about a guy. This movie, The Rookie's about a guy who has kids, and he doesn't. And he auditions for the Tampa Bay Rays. That's what they call them at the time. Now they're just called the Rays. At the time, he's not sure if he'll make it or not, but he just tries out, and he pitches so well that they just sign him right there. He plays, and he's just so good at it. He's such a great pitcher that the team just feels stupid for not doing it in the first place. They thought the guy was just fucking with them, but then he started pitching like, ooh, look at this. That's the rookie. The Emperor's New Groove. This is a real shitty movie. I bought this so I can rant on it later on. I want to do a review of this movie because this is a shitty movie. I mean, this is one of those movies where it's one of Disney's weakest attempts. I think the reason why is because now I look at it and they could have done a much better movie than they did. Actually, they had made a movie. They had made a documentary. I think it's on a. They made a documentary. It's not released. It has never been released DVD, but you can. I've watched it on YouTube a few times. It's about what they wanted this movie to be, and God, does it look better. You've got music from Sting, and you've got an amazing story. And I don't know why they let that go for this piece of shit. I'll never know. Pretty embarrassing. So that's Emperor's New Groove. From another bad movie to another. We Bought a Zoo. Piece of shit. Real piece of shit film. I'll give it a second chance. I really want to like it. I really went through really wanting to like it, and God, it was bad. So next we got Frosty the Snowman. DVD that I couldn't get to work for a while the first time when I bought it. I couldn't get. I don't know why. I mean, I want to know if anyone's had any trouble with this. It's a classic media one, and it just wouldn't work for the longest time. And it's annoying. The 2-disc DVD of Beauty and the Beast. This is the latest release of Beauty and the Beast. I know they did this. This is the second time they released it to DVD. I know they did it in like 2002 or 3 or something like that. And they just released it again 2 years ago. I didn't buy it 2 years ago, but you know. So that's Beauty and the Beast. This is Yogi the Easter Bear. I mean, I'm probably not gonna watch this anytime soon. I bought this at a flea market, and the idiot there said, "Oh well, he threw this in because he said you can get it was like buy two get the third free or something. I don't know." And the sad thing is, this is the best he had because and I got the other two I wanted, but this was like this is like, you know, everything else that I liked I had in my hand and wasn't sure about anything else, but this was at least sealed, so I'm like, you know what, if I don't like it, I can at least sell it on Amazon or eBay and make quite a few bucks. So that's Yogi the Easter Bear. This is Titan AE. My dad really likes this movie. I have a copy, and he has a copy. It shows how much he likes it. He kept one, and I kept one. So, I mean, it's an interesting movie. I think I saw this when I was a little kid. I don't remember. I remember it being a really one. I don't remember if I ever did. Yeah, I think so. I think I did. I remember it being a colossal failure when it came out. They spent so much money on making this movie, and they barely broke even on it. They barely tried. This was actually directed by Don Bluth and Gary Goldman, two who know a lot about how to work with each other, because they have made some other movies that are probably better than this. So, this is Don Bluth. I think this might be his last movie he ever had anything to do with. I don't remember. I think this might be his last one he ever did. That's Titan AE. A movie I think is far better than Titan AE, and a movie that gets gets highly more better praise than Titan AE ever got in its time, and that is this movie was a little bit the problem with Titan AE was a little bit before its time. So I don't think people quite understood what it was doing at the time, what was going on at the time. I don't think people got it. And this is the Iron Giant. This is a much better movie than that. This is just much better. movie that's not very underrated, criminally underrated, and it doesn't get a whole lot of love anymore. I loved it in the theater as a kid. I loved it. This is Charlotte's Web, the only one to get. They have the animated one, the sequel to this one. Just don't even bother with that one. I'll watch it because I bought it, but God, don't even bother. This is a classic, though. This is a must-own for anybody who likes animation and all. This is a must-own. Excellent film. It's absolute class. This is the live-action Charlotte's Web, which I like. I know. I liked it at the time. Now, I wonder if I put this in if I'll like it at all. I really do wonder. This is such an old DVD. I don't think I ever watched it. Had this forever, I never touched it. About Charlotte's Web. Here's Scooby-Doo and the Goblin King. Just another Scooby-Doo movie. This is Aladdin 2-disc Platinum Edition. Very early Platinum Edition. So this is just the Rugrats, the trilogy movie collection. Just feature the Rugrats movie, the Rugrats in Paris, the movie, and Rugrats Go Wild. I just bought this for Rugrats in Paris, Rugrats Go Wild, because I already had the Rugrats movie when I bought it. So this was trying to get that. So that's Rugrats trilogy. Here's my original DVD of the Rugrats movie. A very good movie. I think it's probably one of the better Nickelodeon movies, and ironically, it's the first one. So, kind of funny that a movie that was released, the first Nickelodeon movie, and I like it. And a lot of people, I consider this as a really good movie. It's very straight to the point. I think it's very heartwarming. Kind of a sad, some parts of it. So, Rugrats movie. Here's one of my all-time favorite animated movies. I might get shit for this, but I don't care. I love this so much. I have 2 DVDs of this movie. The Hey Arnold movie. This is an excellent, criminally underrated movie. Everybody has to watch it. It's very hard to find now. The DVD goes for a lot of money online, but I do like it. I mean, it didn't make a lot of money at all in the theater when it came out back in 2002. Made nothing at the box office. But the main reason why I like it is because it's just a really good movie. I like the idea behind it that they were going to. I like the idea a lot. They were going to. The idea in this movie is that they were going to tear down their houses and their whole neighborhood would be torn down. So it would be turned into a mall or something like that. And Arnold and everyone who lives in a complex apartment building isn't for it. They don't want this to happen. And it's Arnold and his friend's job take it upon them to kind of make it so that it doesn't happen. So they kind of do some secret agent work and all that, just so that it doesn't happen. And the villain voiced by I don't remember who it was voiced by, and the villain who's right here, kind of a little bit cocky and kind of gets really mean about it and be like, well, ha ha ha, I guess your apartment's going down or something. And then Arnold and Helga and Harold, they take a bus ride and to I think something like to one of those, to like their version of the FBI where they live, and it ends up being that obviously, you know, the, it does. They don't have to move. Their apartment doesn't get torn down. But it's a nice story about how a neighborhood has to come, apartment complex has to come together. The whole neighborhood, obviously, and to make this stop happening because they didn't want the development to take place. And I just think it's a really cool story. I mean, this is a really stupid tagline. A big problem calls for a big head. God. I mean, this is such a great movie, and it has such a shitty tagline. It's like, really? But I do like it. I think it's very criminally underrated, and if any of you have like a Netflix account or anything like that, it's probably not on instant watch instantly yet on Netflix. Probably not, because this is a pretty rare, and no one really. I mean, I'm sure if you ask anybody, no one's gonna know if it's ever came out. It did really badly when it came out in the box office. It did so bad. I think it literally almost lasted a little less than a week. I'm not kidding. I think that's just how bad it was. How bad it did. This movie's great. It just got really bad treatment from people. People said the animation was shitty. It took a lot of shit when it came out, and it didn't deserve it. It's really a good movie. So I could rant on that all day. How much I love that, and how having it fuck up in the box office the way it did, I think screw up the way people think of the movie. Because people think, oh, it's just a, a misguided kids movie. It's actually better than that. It takes the shit out of kicks the shit out of like a Shrek, a movie that came out a year before, and almost a lot of movies definitely kicks the shit out of the movie that came the Nickelodeon movie that came before it, which was Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, which I showed earlier in the video, and it just really kicked the shit out of a lot of those movies, and I don't think people really understand or understood at the time how good this movie was. And I know the story could have been done. I know it looks like the story could have been done 100 times, or probably has been. Who knows? But it's just the way they did it. I just found it to be a little different. I don't know how to explain it. Enough ranting. Let's get back to. Let me get another DVD out here. The Secret of NIMH. This is really Don Bluth's the only movie worth watching. I mean, fuck Troll in Central Park and all those shitty films. This is really the only one worth watching. Secret of NIMH 2 is a piece of shit. It really didn't even need to be made. MGM just did it for cash. It was a straight to DVD film back in 1998. I mean, it's really bad. I wouldn't watch it. It's terrible. I had it, and thank God I don't know where it is. Thank God. I had it as a kid. I don't know what happened to it. Thank God it's a piece of shit. This is a really good one, though. I mean, if you don't like rats, I suggest you stay away. Because my mom hates rats. There's a scene where the rats go over a telephone pole, and God. It's pretty creepy. It really is. It's not just that. It's just that the way that this movie's, the way the animation's done, it looks creepy. I mean, the animation at times looks so dark, and they did such a great job of making this intentionally spooky. I mean, I don't know if they were trying to. That's what I mean by unintentionally. I'm not sure, but it looks as if sometimes when they, especially this movie, to me, there's not much of a difference how the animation looks from when it's supposed to be day or night. It doesn't make much of a difference because, I mean, it's definitely not. It's definitely kind of confusing because they didn't really do much about that. But I do like it. I mean, I think people don't understand really that the book. I mean, no one really. The book is famous, but it actually is a different. The book is actually that was written by who? Shit, I forget. Trying to find it. I don't. Oh no. Okay, can't find it. Oh, here. By Robert C. O'Brien. The book was actually originally called Miss Frisby and the Rats of Nim, but the movie they just shortened it to make the secret, to call it The Secret of Nim, basically because they didn't. I don't think they really wanted to just call it one thing. I just really think they wanted to just make it easy and stuff. So they call it Secret of Nim. Another good Don Bluth film. One of the other. I mean, I like two Don Bluth films. Anastasia and Secret of Nim. The rest of them, I couldn't give a flying fuck. I didn't think about them. Just shitty movies. This is a really good edition of Anastasia because it actually comes with the Family Fun editions. It actually comes with Anastasia and the Bartok the Magnificent. That's the useless sequel, so-called sequel, just useless. They didn't need to do it. They really didn't. But, they did. So, I really don't think they needed to do that sequel at all. Because it has nothing to do with the movie. Nothing to do with this movie. I mean, and they didn't even... They really didn't need to do it. Because, to be honest, that sequel... I mean, it's like it has nothing with the movie. I've never bothered to see it. I don't think I ever saw that sequel. But, I don't think anybody else from the movie is in it. I really doubt it because they call it Bartok Magnificent, which leads me to believe that no other character is in the movie. At least anyone from the original. I mean, this is the addition to get. But I wouldn't watch Bartok Magnificent. I really wouldn't because it's a pretty shit film, to be honest. At least that's what I've heard. I've heard it's pretty shitty. I haven't watched it. Now we're coming to probably one of my favorite movies in my collection, Monster House. This is the best CGI movie ever made. So what I'm basically saying is, it kicks the shit out of anything ever made. It blends real and fake really well. Like, they just make everything look so realistic in this movie that you're not sure if this is real, what's not real, what is real. That's one of the great things about it, is that it could have gone for they could have made this a real shitty movie, but they didn't. They really did. I think they really outdid themselves in this. Now, Gil Cannon, the director, needs another job. I don't think he's ever gotten another job since this. That was his first movie I think he ever directed, and he needs more work. This guy did amazing with this movie. This is a motion capture film, and it looks a hell of a lot better. Takes the shit out of Polar Express and all those shitty films that I don't like Polar Express and Happy Feet, which could be more captured, God knows. I really, really like it. This movie's amazing, so check it out. Next Halloween. Not just Halloween. Do yourself a favor. Turn this video off and rent or buy this fucking movie, because this movie needs people to watch it. It didn't. It's a shame because it came out. It was up for the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, and I think it lost. I think it actually lost to I forget. I remember being pissed off though, real pissed. I think it lost to I think it won to forget. Not Surf's Up. I don't think it can. I think this came out the year before that shit film did. I forget, but I remember really liking it. Excellent film. Very excellent film. It's just a great movie that I think everybody needs to watch, especially on Halloween. You know, it's just one of those movies that I don't think gets the respect it deserves, because it really, I think, I mean, you look at it and go, it's CGI, but it's not. It's actually done motion capture, which is a different way of making a movie, which is how they do a lot of those EA sport video games, like the NBA ones and all that, and even the 2K does it too. You know, I don't think EA even makes NBA Lives anymore, but maybe they do. I don't play those anymore. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions, comment below. And check back later for part 2. Thanks for watching.